Hey, what's happening, gamers? Today we're looking at Azure Striker Gunvolt, a game which was provided for me by the GV team to review for all of you. Legal stuff is fun, isn't it? For the most part, this will be a spoilers-free review. Mostly. Set in a futuristic society where humans and magic users known as adepts clash, a young hero chose to disobey his superiors and rescue a target rather than destroying her. This girl, who can split into two personas, will place our hero in constant peril and leave him labeled as a terrorist. Not bad for a first date. After becoming a freelance merc for hire, Gunvolt does all he can to protect Muse from an evil corporation soul-bent on using her gifts to enslave the world. Gameplay for this game is actually pretty interesting, and I know it's hard to look at this game and not think, hey, it's Mega Man on the 3DS, but other than the characters being dressed in blue and being able to select which boss to challenge and when, that's where the similarities end. Take the gun for instance. While it can be used to weaken enemies, that's not its main purpose. Actually, you're supposed to tag multiple foes so you can zap them with lightning. Once Volt is locked on, his psychic abilities unleash devastating attacks on those it hits, while doing minimal damage to those it doesn't. By holding in the R button, you can activate an electric shield which protects him from most projectiles and doubles as a glide ability too when falling. However, this power can't be used excessively and requires you to recharge his EP. That's his power meter thing. Now when the meter goes red, that means you've overheated and your hero is now defenseless until it manually refills, which is a bad thing. If you do manage to fall in battle, not if, when, sometimes Lumen, Muse's pop idol ID, will revive you using the Song of Resurrection, making Volt super overpowered and playing a catchy J-pop track instead of that stage's theme, which is pretty cool. Though don't get too excited though, from what I've played, this occurrence is very random. Even chatting with her like you're in a dating sim before a mission starts will not guarantee her help at all. Nor will dying constantly bring her to your rescue like a Super Kong move, so don't rely on it. Just like in RPGs though, Gunvolt does gain experience, which is good. Leveling up rewards you with more health and cool new attack skills, which are activated by the bottom screen. Just like the EP meter, these powers also have a cooldown period and players cannot use them as often as they want to, so be careful. Over the course of the story, Quill, Volt's former employer, will unlock new options for you to use, like being able to fully customize Gunvolt, a store where you can forge new gear, and accepting side quests. Thanks to the various items you picked up during the missions, you can now make stuff. Swapping out different gear gives you new moves like an air dash, increased defense, and even a dodge move, which I didn't use very much because I don't like it. Also, taking on quests helps you find better items and further develop your relationship with Julie and Lumen, which may or may not affect the ending of the game. So, what didn't I like about this game? To be honest, the Muse aid thing really bugged me. Now don't get me wrong, the ability was a cool idea, it's just not executed very well. I just wish the developer gave the players a bit more control over how Lumen could assist you, rather than leaving it up to chance. Because Lumen comes when she wants to, not just when you need her. Especially during some of the more annoying missions, like when Gunvolt is being killed under the water in Merrick's stage. Yeah, Lumen's song would have come in pretty handy in situations like this, but no, she's too busy washing her hair. Another thing that bugged me was not being able to equip new attack skills during a level. What's the point of being told you have new attack skill and it's ready to use if you can't use it until the customization screen back at your base? It makes no sense. Especially since Gunvolt can pause the game and select different guns and gear to use during the levels. Seriously, what was the thought process behind this? Also, some of the characters in this game deserve to up the game's T rating to mature though, because frankly, it's not appropriate and very disturbing. Guess the ESRB was sleeping on the job when it comes to censorship, no surprise, much like how Amazon.com at one point said School Days was a delightful romantic comedy. Yeah. And lastly, the boss rush mode just really got on my nerves, and frankly, I'm tired of seeing this mechanic during this day and age. It's not a bad thing, and it's not a good thing, it's just kinda there. Wily Stage is still awesome as always though, but we're moving on. With my gripes aside, this is a fantastic Mega Man ZX game though. Pacing is great, it's fast but not too fast, and the platforming is very well done. One unique aspect of this game that I really liked is the kudos system though. Something most players will miss their first time through the game, except for people that watch this review, huh? In fact, Infaune has made it so you need to avoid the checkpoints since your score will reset after saving. That's a pretty bold move to activate this. Trust me, it's not easy to avoid getting hit in the tutorial mission either. Still, if you manage to achieve a score of over 1,000, Lumen will sing one of 8 new songs and Gunvolt will become a little bit stronger during this song. Think of it like the Song of the Warrior from My Bride is a Mermaid. Well, as long as he isn't hit though, then everything just goes back to normal and you have a sad face. As for the game's level design, it's pretty impressive for an Eshop title, I have to say. All the environments reflect each robot adapt perfectly. And I especially love this stage where it's pitch black and I had to use my shield or the enemies to light the path. The zombies were a nice touch too, because who doesn't love zombies? You also get points Innate Create for a throwback to Metal Storm in this stage too. About the 3D aspect though, well, I didn't mess with it due to me and that stuff not being the best of friends, so yeah. Music and sound is what you expect from a game directed by Mega Man's dad though, pure awesomeness. The composition is very catchy and fits in perfectly with this game's overall setting. Sound effects are alright, and the Japanese cast was great too for the most part. Still, part of me just couldn't help wishing that the English dub wasn't cancelled, cause you know GV would have been played by Johnny Young Bosch. You know it. I will say this though, I do have to hand it to the developers for doing a fantastic job translating this game so quickly. When for all we knew, this was going to be a Japan-only release this year, with a 3DS International coming eventually. I especially enjoyed that most of the game's villain's personality is pretty funny. Like the gamer who doesn't want to fight you and is disappointed that you survived because now he actually has to fight you and miss out on his Robocraft time. That's pretty cool. Now I know the burning question on all your eager minds though, does Gunvolt offer enough replay value and challenge factor? And the answer? Yes it does. While the game is short but sweet, featuring only 10 levels and taking roughly 5 hours to complete, there is merit for replaying past levels again. Really, Gunvolt at its core already is a very challenging game. Add the side quests? Forget about it. Then you know why this genre was crazy back in the day. The kids' gloves are off, but in a good way. Speedrunners will definitely love trying to complete a stage as fast as possible though, and those of you brave enough to attempt finishing this game 100%, well, you have a mighty undertaking ahead of you now, don't you? Trust me, it'll make Mega Man 11's achievements look like you were chewing gum. And one final tidbit to pique your interest before I end. Those of you that buy GV during the next 3 months will get the NES-inspired collab game Mighty Gunvolt for free, which features Beck from Mighty No. 9 and some exclusive Japanese girl robot person from Japan. This game, just so you know, is hard as nails, has a high score system, and is pretty much a parody of Mega Man 1 and Mighty Final Fight. To wrap up, even with Gunvolt's little issues and questionable rating, Infaune and company have delivered a surprise gem for the 3DS. It has everything you loved about 2D action games and keeps the spirit of the Super Nintendo alive and well for 2014. No doubt about it, this game is totally worth checking out. Azure Striker Gunvolt gets an 8 out of 10. And with that, ladies and gents, we're done. If you want to see more of Azure Striker Gunvolt that is so hard to say, hit up my LP channel for a full playthrough and levels I couldn't show here. If this review was helpful, don't forget to tickle that like button because it really does help me out a lot. Until we meet again, gamers, God bless and happy gaming. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoy one of the best games of 2014. Seriously, go download it. See ya!